This is the first part of a short story. They discuss it one morning after fucking. I want to start a cult, she says. He doesn't say anything for a while, dreamy in his self-satisfaction. Then he says, I know about cults. I bet. Another long silence. He rolls the condom off, flicks it at the floor. Manson, he says. I studied Manson. That's Charles Manson, not Marilyn. Oh, what, you took a class? She says, mocking his know-it-all tone. Yeah, mastered in him if you want to get specific. I study him too, she says, wondering if he really did master in Charles Manson. She doesn't know what they teach at community college. She's still in high school. She rolls over in bed, glances at the clock. Her parents won't be back from church for an hour at least. She pulls the bedside table's drawer open, lifts the false bottom, pushes a pack of Camel Lights and an Altoids tin aside, and grabs the book. Black cover, red Anarchy A, yellowed pages. She rolls back next to Chet, on her back, holding the book above her face. She flips to the chapter on Manson, bookmarked by a postcard for a rave. There is his face, grainy and old black and white, like a pacifist, like a revolutionary, like a misunderstood saint. That's his police mugshot, Chet says. He didn't always have a beard. He's handsome, Ellie says. No, Chet says, he's smart. Chet's hand touches her knee, moves up thigh, towards hips, belly, breast. She pushes it off her, Chet it out for the time being. She says, he hit the road. Went to the desert, Chet says. Looking for a secret city under the sand. So, Chet says, starting over with his hand on her knee. You've got a car. Finals are in a month. Charles Manson never finished high school. Maybe that's why he got caught. Nah, says Chet. He got caught because he didn't take it far enough. Yeah, she says. He didn't kill enough people, that's why he got caught? Nah, says Chet. He lost his focus. Came out of the desert too soon. Get dressed, Ellie says. My parents will be home. I know where his house is, where he holed up. Ellie pulls on her underwear and volleyball shorts. On her way to the bathroom, she calls, get dressed and get. Let's go there, Chet says. From the bathroom, door open. I said, get. Finish up the semester then. Your parents will love you for it. 20 minutes later, they're southbound on I-35, both of them holding middle fingers out the sunroof, pointing back at Kansas City, Missouri. Ellie's glassed eyes burn the horizon and Chet becomes a ghost, riding like a toddler on her shoulders. Chet kicks his heels in her ribs, calling up, up, up. Chet, deliverer from high school, deliverer from parents, is delivering her still. Deliver, deliver, liver. Charles Manson did not eat livers. Silence of the Lambs is where they eat liver. Ellie has one at a diner on day 2. Chet says it's a cow's liver, which is not nearly as gamey as human. You've never had human liver, she tells him, pushing slippery onions through gray juice on the plate with her fork. You think you know everything about me, he says, smiling. It gets her, all his twisted around teeth. Makes her self-conscious of all the money her parents spent on braces. Where did you get a human liver, she asks. He pours another mini bottle of Kahlua into his chocolate shake, slurps hard on the striped straw. Nah, never human, he admits. But pig liver I had once, and that's the closest animal to human. People can accept pig organ transplants, including livers. His eyes are the color of the cow liver juice, like liquid soot. When they leave, she pays the bill, per usual, and watches him to make sure Chet doesn't take the tip. Now they're 6 days into it, and Ellie feels so good to be free. It's just this road like a feathered spine, light and hollow, pointing west. She feels so good to be rolling with Chet. Her parents hate him, his black boots, his chapped lips, his stoned eyes. She hates him too when she's honest with herself. He's a waste, and he doesn't want her. He wants a body, wants to fuck and get high and touch, and she lets him. But he doesn't want her, which is another thing entirely. Her parents, unlike Chet, want all of her. Gave her the car, knew off the lot. a luxury SUV that shone like a prize opal amidst the salt-blasted compacts her classmates drove. It wasn't for her. It was for everyone that knew her parents and saw her driving it. Chet's wants are manageable. She can handle them. And he knows things. They're close now, very close. The roads have shed their concrete husks. Ellie's driving fast enough to get the doors shaking in their tight frames while the vehicle bucks along the washboarded ruts. She two-hands the wood-trimmed steering wheel and lets the punk singer on the tape deck stab his bootlegged wail into her heart one heavy second at a time. Chet zones out at the desert, silent while the hot air buffets his face and lifts his hair. Cycloning up behind them, their dust plume traces their velocity across the open land. Ellie looks at Chet. He's the ugliest person she's ever seen. Stop picking it, she tells him. Words take long to form. Can't, he says after a while. He peels a tarot card-sized swatch of burned skin from the pale underside of his forearm and holds it pinched between thumb and forefinger. It flaps in the hot wind. It'll get infected, she says. Nah, it's good to let it air out. I can't believe you did that, she says. Then she does a sharp laugh. Fire needed adjusting, he says, watching the dangling blister twist and flutter. Do you know, he says, that your laugh sounds like a donkey braying? You're crazy, she says, stoned and indifferent. Crazy in love. She laughs again. She does sound like a mule. Then she wonders what a mule sounds like. Like her. A mule sounds like her laughing. He flips the skin outside. It's gone. Part of him is no longer part of him. Ellie buries herself in the dirt road's burr. Dust antiques the dashboard, silts the stereo's controls, sheens the casings over speedometer, clock, temperature gauge. Controls she doesn't read. The sky outside is white. The road is a white runway tapering from car width to pixel. She is stoned and has been for almost a week straight. First on the shock of leaving home with Chet, next on the drugs he pulled from his bag, now on the combination of leaving and the drugs and the white noise landscape, and most of all on anticipation. They're almost there. They're almost at Charles Manson's cabin. Ellie's hands are numb from the steering wheel's vibrations. She lets go. The vehicle holds its line. They jolt into a pothole, and Ellie grabs it again, swerving back on course. The washboards are very deep. Chet's windshield visor slips down and dumps registration and insurance papers in his lap. He throws them over his shoulder into the back seat and crosses himself. Ellie says, "Name of the Father, the Mother, and the DMV. Amen." Chet says, "Faster, drive faster." His voice is chopped by the dirt road's relentless vibration. "Get up on plane." She pushes the pedal, grips the wood-varnished wheel even tighter. Atta girl. Bottle caps rattle at their feet like lost teeth. They both squint into the white sun, which is smeary through the dust tracks left by the blown wiper blades. They approach a curve. On these straight roads, the curves are visible miles in advance. "Keep your speed," says Chet. Then he turns the volume up loud enough to drown the wind. Ellie tries to calculate a safe speed, but her mind is addled. The curve is a target and she is a missile. She blinks. Chet unbuckles his seatbelt and crawls up through the sunroof, standing on his seat with his torso outside. They're going way too fast. She looks up. His long hair ripples back in the wind. Any moment they'll be at the curve. She'll wrench the wheel. The vehicle will roll. He spreads his arms wide. She can't stop looking at him. She should be watching the road. With his arms out, he could be a prophet. He could be a saint. The music pumps and Chet's yelling, but the wind and music dominate her ears. She remembers the road. Too fast, she jerks the wheel 90 degrees, stamps the brake pedal. The ABS knocks against her foot. Chet's feet dance on the seat. His hands slap the windshield. Ellie's stomach rises with the vehicle's thrown balance. They're through the turn, but she overcorrects and the rear end washes out. Swinging around perpendicular to the road, dust billows everywhere. Their plume catching up like a speedboat wake, pouring through the open windows in the sunroof. The vehicle comes to a stop, and though the engine dies, the punk music still blares. The drum track sounds like machine gun fire. Ellie is relieved to see Chet's feet still on the seat. The vehicle has stopped with the front half off the road in deep dust. the bumper smashing a desiccated plant, the rear half still on the dirt road. She kills the stereo. Chet slaps the roof from overhead. He sinks back into his seat, squirming on the dusty leather, his huge smile ragged as a rusting birdcage. Nice drift, he says, between excited breaths. You gotta try it up there. Ellie stares at his teeth. Her vision pulses slowly, whiting out then coming back in undulating waves. He could have died. Ellie, get up there. She could have killed him. Ellie? She can kill him anytime she wants. He's too dumb to defend himself. Chet, she asks. He grins at her. Want to go again? This is power. Only after another beer, Chet says. He twists his body like an eel to rummage through the cooler wedged behind the driver's seat. Ellie is mesmerized by her transformation. She has become in charge. She turns on the vehicle and reverses. The running boards scrape against the dirt berm, and with the bump, she's back on the road. Chet, she says, I'm gonna go faster. You better hold on tight. Nah, he says, I'm gonna ride the roof. Silver fucking surfer, ghost riding the whip. He finishes the can of beer, squeezes it, and flings it to the trunk where it lands on the pile of sleeping bags, duffels, and the army surplus tent they bought in Denver. She shifts to D for drive. Chet climbs up through the sunroof, gets himself ready. She hits the gas harder than she intends, jolting forward. She doesn't want him to fall off till they're going fast enough. Sorry, she calls up. Easy, girl, just bring it up easy. He hoists himself all the way out the sunroof. Now he's standing up top, one foot in front of the other, leaning into the hot air. She's smiling now, accelerating and accelerating. Spread your arms, she yells, and pushes harder on the gas.